The other day, a friend of mine called and she was worried about whether she as a grandparent had any visitation or custody rights to her grandchildren. And in Georgia, grandparents do not automatically have visitation or custody rights. What I had to explain to her is that the only way that grandparents can get custody or visitation rights in Georgia is if you can show that the other parent or that the children's parents are unfit. And a grandparent has a hard time doing that a lot of times because one of the children is their child. And it would require filing an action in the court to establish visitation or custody rights for the grandparent. And in that, you would have to certify that the parents of the child are unfit, unable to parent the child, and that it would be in the child's best interest for visitation or custody to be established into the grandparent. Now, oftentimes where grandparents would have more of a right is, let's say you are the paternal grandparent, meaning that your son is the father of this child. Well, if your son passes away in a car accident, and unfortunately your daughter-in-law was not going to allow you to visit the children anymore, then that's an easier bar to cross. And oftentimes my clients find emotionally they don't have to attack their child because their child has passed away. They find it easier to have a litigation process through the court system to get visitation established. And oftentimes, especially if there are facts where the daughter-in-law is withholding the child, not allowing telephone contact, not allowing holiday time or even present exchanges, then the judge will ultimately grant visitation to that grandparent. Now, in that same scenario, if you wanted custody of your grandchildren, you would still have to attack that living parent to make sure that the judge understands what's going on, and you would still have the bar of saying that your daughter-in-law is unfit or unable to have custody of that child or those children, and the court may grant you custody based on whatever evidence comes out. There has been recent case law that has come out about grandparent visitation, which makes the bar a lot higher. It makes it a much tougher case, but with the right facts and circumstances, grandparents can be successful in obtaining custody or visitation of their grandchildren. If you have any questions about what your rights may be for your grandchildren and you want to come in and see an attorney about that, we would certainly be happy to help you and make sure that we walk you through that process to make sure that you're not going through this without the necessity of actually having to go to court. But if you do, we'd be more than happy to walk you through that process.